and welcome back to a special bonus episode of FANomena. I'm your host, Mimi Dibbs, and this is the end of season 4 FANomena episodes. We wrapped up season 4 last week, and now we are going to be bringing you the stories from you, about you, by you, down at the bayou. No. Also, this is the second time I'm recording this episode. Thankfully, this did not happen. It has not happened. Thank goodness. Actually, this is good to have happened for this episode because now I know to check my audio levels because, yeah, fun fact, I recorded this episode and then Merrick's was like, there is no audio. Is it supposed to be a silent film? And I was like, right, yeah. And they're like, no, I'm not kidding. There's no audio. I'm like, you're joking, right? That's a joke, right? Say psych right now. Fun fact, round 2. Thankfully, again, this is a shorter FANomena episode, so it was not one of our regular episodes, so it's not as big of a deal, because obviously I cold read all of my scripts, so as to have the most authentic reaction. In this case, I did read these 3 FANomena stories once before, so I hope that doesn't ruin anything for you. It won't, I promise. They're very good stories, I can tell you that now. And also, we didn't get very many submissions for FANomena stories this season, unfortunately. Y'all should send your stories in, all right? We're there. Listen here, you. Send in your stories because we want to hear them. But essentially, in lieu of not having any submissions, Angel, our lovely scriptwriter Angel, she did submit her story. But then I was like, do you know of anyone else that might have a story? And she was like, I know a crazy story that happened to my mom and one of my other friends and I have their permission to tell it on their behalf, if that's fine. I'm like, yeah, that works. Because we were talking about the fact that it is often hard to get people to recount their stories and sit down and write it all down. And which, by the way, I should take this time to make it clear that your stories by no means have to follow any sort of format or be any sort of length or be anywhere near as detailed as our weekly scripts. They can be a paragraph long, just as long as they're your own personal stories. Because, yeah, at the end of every season, we want to give you the opportunity to share some crazy, explained situations that have happened to you. So without further ado, let's get into the first story. This is Donna's story, Angel's mom. Nice. All right. This happened while she was driving through the countryside in rural South Dakota. My mother was traveling with my 2 brothers who were in middle school and grade school age. Both were asleep in the car as she drove across the prairie back from the other side of the state. Mom was most of the way home with the sleeping boys on an isolated road when a deer came from the dark and she struck it. No, that's terrible. And also, I read deer, and I'm thinking not deer back from the Indigenous Nightmares episode that Angel wrote, actually. So that's crazy and terrifying because there's a lot of deer in the Midwest where I'm originally from. Thankfully, I've never struck a deer, but I feel like I know people that have. It's very kind of unfortunately normal for deer to especially come out and then, the whole saying deer in headlights, deer will literally come out and then freeze, which is wild. So she saw a deer, came out from the dark, and she struck it. The boys stirred but didn't wake up. Odd. She was about to go check the damage and the body when something unexplained happened. A large black bird of prey sprang into the sky and flew off into the night. What? I'm thinking crow? No. Raven? Ravens are huge. So yeah, maybe one of those. So it sprang up into the night. When she got out of the car, there was no deer body or even blood and not much damage. The boys never truly woke up from sleep. And when she asked native relatives and aunties and uncles, they all said she was visited by a medicine person. Called it. I knew it. I knew it was someone from the Indigenous Nightmares episode. That's crazy. And also, I did clock that as weird. I feel like if you hit a deer, it's crazy that Angel's mom felt the impact of having hit a deer, but then looked back and the boys were still asleep. They didn't feel the impact. They stirred a little bit, but that's it. Wouldn't you think that would jerk you awake? I mean, unless they're really heavy sleepers. I don't know. I myself am a very heavy sleeper, so I personally tend to sleep through anything. I'm a little better about waking up now, but when I was younger, it was a nightmare to get me up for sleepovers. I did not want to get up, and I still kind of don't. I prefer to stay asleep because sleeping is fun. They're very heavy sleepers if you can hit a deer and not wake up from that. So that would be really bizarre to have experienced that and then be am I the only one that experienced that? What do you mean there's no deer? Or the deer turned into a bird. Because medicine people, if you guys recall from the Indigenous Nightmares episode, are shapeshifters. they're skinwalkers. And so they can shapeshift and turn into different animals, which is wild that it appeared as a deer. That's so scary too. Oh my God. A few said it was a bad omen, and some said it was a blessing. As her eldest child, with a passion for owls, ravens, and crows, and a night owl myself, love it, same, I believe it was a blessing in the night, only meant for my mother's sight. Yeah. I also wonder if, like, when things like that happen, did it save her from maybe having hit something else later down the road? Like, the whole pause that she had to do on that road of like stopping the car, going outside, checking it, not seeing anything, like that, all that time could have potentially saved her from, if she had kept going, maybe hitting something or someone. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, if nothing bad happened, at the end of the day, her car wasn't dented. She didn't have to like move a deer body or clean off deer blood off her car. So that's pretty good sign to me. I would, as like weird as that is, I'd almost be like, well, that's thank goodness I didn't actually hit a deer, because now I don't have to do all the cleanup. And also like having to move a deer carcass. I don't get it. I don't get people that hunt and then they're like, yeah, let's load this guy in the back. And you're like, have you seen Bambi? Okay, don't kill deer. What are you doing? What are you doing? If anyone watching is a hunter and you feel personally attacked, good. Because the animals that you've killed also probably feel personally attacked. Okay. I speak for the forest. I am the Lorax. No, okay. On to the second FANomena story. This is William's story, Angel's best friend of 12 plus years. Ooh, okay. One night on my old farm, we played paired hide and seek. I've never played paired hide and seek. That sounds fun. We had 6 people, so the seeker had to find only 3 locations. Okay, yeah, so it's what I thought it was, which is when you hide in pairs. And that would be fun because it wouldn't be as lonely to hide like alone, but I also don't think I'd be able to keep quiet, you know? It's like the whole like, oh my God, shut up, no, stop laughing, no, stop, they're coming, stop. Or like, literally that was me at every sleepover. Girls, go to bed. And we're like, stop, it's not funny, stop, no, yeah, we're going to bed, shh, stop, my mom's gonna wake up. Because I'm very loud. Yeah, I would not have trusted myself to keep my location a secret if I had to hide with someone. Because, like, what are you going to do? Hide with someone and not kiki with them? Come on. That's like prime kiki territory. You know what I mean? If you're going to tell a secret, you got to tell it in a secret hiding place. I love yerba mate. The seeker, though, was alone. Okay. So the seeker is by themselves. That makes sense. Because then, what, you have 2 people looking? That's not fair. Their flashlight being their only advantage, and the barn light, which didn't shine ever due to old buildings that would block it. There was still a dark night beyond into the fields past a certain point. It was William's turn when something happened. Ooh, William, what did you set in motion? He was not far from the buildings on the main farm, but on the edge of the light. That's when he saw movement out in the field. Not a place that we agreed to hide in, but we're all mischievous in some way. Nice, fair. Same. The figure was tall, too, all in black and moving fast. So it could only be Jordan or Angel. So William takes a guess and shouts out, Jordan, I see you. What are you doing? Yeah, because like, hey, we didn't say you could hide there. What are you, like, and I'm also not going over there to find you. So like, come back here. Like, what are you doing out of bounds? He teases him. And when he goes to turn on the flashlight, something eerie stirred in William and said not to. Uh-oh. Oh no. He got like a gut feeling like, no, actually don't turn this flashlight on right now. You do not want to see what is out there. I hate it. I hate it, but I love it, but I hate it. The figure was and had been stopped in the middle of the field when he began calling after it. Hate it. I don't like that at all. Especially like if it like stops mid-run. Standing there, staring back at teenage William. After a brief infinity. Ooh, okay, pros. All right, brief infinity. William said something along the lines of, okay, be that way. And turned back looking for other groups. Everyone was found elsewhere. No one was in the field. Devin and Jordan heard William calling to someone, and I did too. There were stumps of trees when we turned to that spot, none taller than Jordan or I, and none in that spot where William saw the dark figure. So you guys heard him say, like, heard him call to someone. Y'all probably thought, like, who's hiding out there? We definitely said not to go that far. And then he recounted the story of the tall, slender man that was just in the field. That reminds me of Wendigos. if y'all watch the Indigenous Night, this is all just a plug to watch the Indigenous Nightmares episode. It's a great episode. We covered off on 3 Indigenous nightmares: skinwalkers, wendigos, and the knot deer, a more recent cryptid. Wendigos, if I remember correctly, are the ones that have been described as like tall, slender, lanky, dark figures. Ooh, very Slender Man coded. So that's terrifying and I hate it. And I feel like I'm sure other people have. See, like if you've seen any sort of weird Slender Man-esque dark figure, definitely email us about it because I want to know. I want to know your interpretation of what that could have been. Also comment. Let me know what you think this was because what was out there? What was in the field that night? I hate it. All right. And the final FANomena story. This is Angel's story. Okay. The Sturgis, I'm not sure how to say that. Sturgis motorcycle rally is the biggest event for that whole area. My friend was driving us back from a rally party with my other friend she was dating at the time. This night, I felt a presence following us. The whole summer, my friend group had experienced shadow people on this road often. Oh, just, they just experience shadow people as one does. What? What do you mean? Like, this is just a regular occurrence that there's shadow people? I wonder, like, is that a big area for shadow people to, like, lurk around? Is South Dakota? Because I don't know that I've ever really experienced shadow people. We have a whole episode, actually, I think in season 5 dedicated to shadow people. And I thought maybe we might have covered off on it on the Indigenous Nightmares episode. Another plug. But there's just so many to cover that we were like, no, we want to give, enough of an episode and enough lore to cover off for skinwalkers, wendigos, and not deer. So we're going to have a whole other episode dedicated to shadow people. We also kind of briefly touched on shadow people for the Appalachian Whistles episode, but didn't dive too far into it. So I'm excited to. But yeah, okay. So y'all just experienced shadow people on this road very often. This road is cursed, okay? Take a detour, because what are you talking about? But not wanting to cause fear or panic, I tried to use whatever might be out there to kind of push this entity I might be sensing away. For all we collectively experienced that summer, safety was better than looking crazy. True that. Facts. Do whatever you feel you need to do to remain safe. And then if it's crazy, it's crazy, whatever. As long as you feel better about it and feel okay. And like it deterred this really insane feeling of like darkness around you. It did leave the presence till on the last straightaway to the farm when my friend hit the brakes and started screaming, "It isn't me! It isn't me!" What? That's when I tell her boyfriend to be there emotionally for her, and no matter what we do not stop this car. We inch our way home down the dark road as I go to Lulu and put up a barrier around us. I mean, hey, you go to Lulu, girl, because I'd rather be within the barrier than outside of it. Trying to do as the stories of my ancestors did, protect people from the unknown in the dark. Yes, okay, wait. So Angel identifies as like a medicine person or like a two-spirited. So Angel herself, one of our amazing writers for FANomena, which I'm so happy to be able to say she's part of our team, is of like indigenous descent. Yeah, she like she identifies with the two-spirited kind of soul and the ability to have this like hyper empathetic sense of her surroundings, and especially when something like a dark entity is trying to like enter the car or trying to sway them off the road, like that's wild. I'm glad, Angel, that you had the wherewithal to be like, okay, all right, yeah, this is scary, but what do I do in this situation? It's up to me to like actually try to at least do something, because I would just be screaming my head off the whole time. I wouldn't have been any help. I know that for a fact. So don't take me out in a deserted road in South Dakota. That's the moral of the story. When we make it to the driveway and are under the outdoor farm light next to the old trailer house, there is an ease in the air. As soon as we passed a protective spiritual barrier I'd laid last summer, shadow people deterrent, the dread left us. Oh, good. I guess your barrier does work, my friend said. Not a second after they spoke, the tall yard light went out and we were plunged into the darkest night I've ever seen. Not right after you guys are like, phew, just all the lights go off. I hate it. I feel like that's the entity being like, you thought, actually, think again, because I'm right here. No, that's terrifying. And also, like, what are you then not supposed to like say it out loud and tease it into thinking that you won? I don't know. I feel like that's almost like mocking it, and that's why it like just got the yard light to go out. Ooh, I hate it. There was screaming, panic, but we grabbed each other's hands and opened a door and made a run for the trailer house. When inside, we hit some of my ma and pa's old oil lamps and waited. Ooh, vintage. Oh my God, I love your skirt. Where'd you get it? Oil lamps. That's wild that you guys had that. But also great because if electricity obviously was the problem here and you guys can't just like turn on the lights, then it's like, that's good. You guys had oil lamps to at least fall back on. When the power came back on in odd spurts. Later, when I told this to my youth pastors, they said we were plunged directly into hell that night. For sure. What? They were just like, yeah, you just like had a brief stint in hell. How was it? Did you see Satan? What do you mean? That's horrifying. It was just darkness. Was it darkness everywhere when the light went out? Because that's pretty crazy. That almost makes me, that reminds me of like Stranger Things with like the upside down and like being in the upside down and then not and then yes and then no. It almost felt like you guys were like into like, it's fine, it's not fine, it's fine, it's not fine. That's crazy. At some point, I began grabbing seeds from plants and doing whatever ritual I could to fight back against whatever spiritual attack we may have been under. There was some success, light stabilized, dread left, but never long enough before it came back. I hate this. It's like false hope every time. Oh, that sounds exhausting to just be like, oh, we're fine. We're not fine. Oh, thank goodness it's gone. It never left. Ugh. I'm like stressed talking about this because I would just be like, okay, just come on. All right. Just leave us alone. At some point, I got exhausted, like from intensive running. Yeah, I would too, because I can't, like, don't play with me. It's too much, okay? I can't handle it. Like, I feel like I would tell the entity, like, okay, you can leave us alone now. There's clearly nothing else that you can take. Or what if it's like a dementor and it was like sucking your soul or something every time the lights went out? I don't know. That's even scary. But it's like, I just don't like that. There's these little spurts of hope intermingled with dread. It's just like I would feel really exhausted after that. So it makes sense that you did. I went to the sink to splash water on my face and there was a window over that sink. Uh-oh. Out next to one stump that stood hip high to me, something dark and tall was lingering behind it. Hate it. I don't like it at all. There was just enough light to see a grotesque, deer-like man creature. Fun. The not deer. Oh no. Was it standing on like its like it was a deer like creature standing on its hind legs? Bipedal, right? That's horrifying. Decaying deer skull and all. That's hard to say, but wow. Ew. I hate it. Oh no, not the decaying deer skull. Where's the rest of your face? I backed away in terror and joined my friends in the living room where I continued what I hoped was a solution. At some point, the rituals broke the tension and the clouds parted for a moon to shine down. Oh, nice. Good. Phew. I can't tell you how long it took, but it felt like forever. My friends drove home and I had an uneasy sleep, afraid of every window. Yeah, I would too. I would hate that. Like, what are you talking about? Decaying deer skulls outside, just chilling. Like, who put that there? And also, why are you there right now? And I wonder if it was there in the morning. I don't know. That's really scary and crazy. And I'm glad that you are okay, Angel. But what a story. That's wild. That's so like spooky. I was wondering, like, I guess that's way more likely to happen around like rural areas than like a city. I don't know. You don't usually hear of like those entities surrounding like a bigger city area. I don't know. Maybe there's just a lot of hustle and bustle. We don't like realize it. If it is around us, I don't know, but that's wild. And then Angel added a little note. She said, in sharing these stories of people I love and my own, I would like to take a moment to note that I believe spiritual trauma is real. Fact. Though we can and should share a reality where the psychological and sociological are not far from our grasp, it is when lived experience and culture intersect that I believe reality gets its messiest. We see it in UFO/UAP survivors/experiencers, people who swear they've seen something and are either ridiculed or dismissed or even made to be a spectacle. I believe from a human standpoint, all trauma and PTSD is not only valid, but should be welcome for open discussion, as conversation is sometimes the best medicine, especially in the face of the unknown. Yeah. 100%. Because like, regardless of whatever we think might have happened in the physical plane, like y'all experienced that and that experience is real to you. And so like that can have effects on your psyche and change, you know, how you operate. And yeah, so definitely encourage others to, you know, share their experiences and not, you know, bury it in, because it's like, just talk about it. I feel like that's usually the best medicine. It's just conversation with other people and knowing that you're probably not the only one that's experienced it, to be honest. So definitely let us know if you've experienced anything similar. To Mimi and the FANomena team, thank you for not only giving me, but also people that I love, a place to be open about their experiences. This Thanksgiving, I know my own and I are grateful to be part of this journey. Happy Thanksgiving, Angel. I love it. Thank you so much, Angel. This is so lovely. And thank you again for compiling the stories, because we didn't really have any other ones to go off of. Hopefully this got other people's ideas stirring or thoughts of like what they might have experienced. And if you do have any personal FANomena stories, definitely email them to us at fanomena.cases@gmail.com. We'd love to be able to read yours out loud if we have permission. It's wild because better for us to talk about it and kind of like not give it the power to be so scary. I know that Ashley, our amazing executive assistant / like Reels coordinator for FANomena, she submitted her FANomena story about her sleep paralysis story. And she was texting me that like after we talked about it, she was like, yeah, it doesn't seem like as scary now that I like got it off my chest, and it's not quite literally off her chest, because sleep paralysis demons are known to like cause chest tightness. I feel like that's so nice. That like I'm glad that talking about it gave someone solace. Also, sorry, I keep hitting my mic. There might have been another one that I saw in a comment. Okay, so in one of the game transfer phenomena reels that I posted on TikTok at FANomena Podcast on TikTok, this person whose username is Sean SEANNN wrote something that kind of sounded like a personal experience. So I'm just gonna tag this on at the end of this episode. It reads, geez, it's happened to me just yesterday. I started playing Minecraft since 2 weeks and I can't stop. I played 8 hours a day, but now I hear villager cows, sheep, and block breaking, placing block. Wow. I was like, you could have game transfer phenomenon. That's crazy. That's also another good one that I feel like a lot of people were telling me in person when they've had similar experiences. So if, while watching any of the episodes, you feel like you have a personal story that is along the same lines, or if any of the episodes even sparked one of your personal memories about a weird, unexplained experience that you've had, definitely don't hesitate to share it with us. We would love to be able to read it out loud, and who knows, it might make you feel a little bit better after. So we are off next week, and then the week after that, we will come back with season 5. Yay! I can't believe we're already 5 seasons. Oh, we're just going to start season 5 already. That's crazy. Love that. Love you guys. Thank you again so much for 28K subs on YouTube. Whee! Yay! That's awesome. I appreciate you so much. And remember, you can always explore the rabbit hole without falling all the way down. Stay safe. And I will not see you next week, but the week after. Bye.